The polls do not reflect that interest. As a matter of fact, recently there's been a poll that shows that Kanye only has maybe 2% of the African American vote, and 2% overall of the American electorate that are supportive of him, and that's with 7% saying that they are still undecided.
So then, given the
so it's definitely not reflecting that.
So then, given the number of U.S. voters who do identify as independent voters and some of these ideas that he's been proposing, how much of a game changer would Kanye West's run actually be then?
It won't have any effect. So what we're seeing in the polls and what we're actually seeing from some of the data that's being ran is that his running will not have any effect on the election. Before, it was assumed that he would be able to take some of the votes away from Biden in places like swing states, but that is not the case. The data currently shows that it won't have any effects on the presidential race.
And what about his relationship with Trump himself? How does his independent presidential bid fit into that, being that they are actually friends, or at least were before he started running?
I mean, I think it hurt Kanye. I think it hurt West in that the reasons he probably got their low percentage numbers among African Americans is because of his friendship with Trump. Trump is not viewed favorably in the African American community generally. And so with Trump being his friend, I think that may have impacted the low ratings that he is receiving and the low support that he is receiving currently.
And we also saw that Kanye has had problems getting on the ballots in some states. Why is that, and what does that mean for his campaign?
Well, Kanye West, many thought his campaign was just a publicity stunt. He has an album coming out soon, and so he's known to do very outlandish things in order to get media attention. And so many assumed that this is what it was until he started to try to register in states to be the ballots. There are a number of states that he is not able to get on the ballots and so that is going to hurt his campaign. He's not going to be a viable candidate, or even a candidate such as Ross Perot would have the abilities to actually take parts of the vote away from one of the dominant parties. He's not going to be one of those split candidates that is able to secure enough votes to make a difference in this election.
Now, it's interesting because even though he is appearing as an unaffiliated candidate, it's also been reported that at least 5 other people connected to Mr. West's Wisconsin bid are active in the Republican Party or are Trump supporters. Talk about the sort of legal or ethical gray area that can present.
That is a very unethical thing if that is occurring, because that is Trump. That can be assumed that the Trump administration is trying to impact the electorate, impact the votes in the upcoming election. And so that can be very difficult. And with him being involved with any of Trump's supporters. And so it's very illegal and unethical that these people are supposedly related to Trump or the Republican Party. I know a number of those people stated that they are not affiliated with the Republican Party anymore, and that they have been affiliated before. But as Kanye West just recently said, he's speaking with Jared Kushner. He still has relationships with the Trumps. And so it is seeming like the Trump administration is trying to get Kanye on the ballots in order to steal votes, but that is not going to happen.
Now, I also want to talk about Kanye's business ties. Obviously, we know the Gap, the retailer, which has already had a falling out of demographic relevancy for decades. So then what could this deal and his political aspirations mean for both West and the Gap?
I think with everything that Kanye does, he does things in order to kind of get attention, media attention, in order to try to support what he is doing next. I don't think that his relationship with Gap is going to be as prosperous as his relationship with Adidas. The way that he marketed his shoes, the limited release, all of those things impacted the shoes being sold out and having large numbers. He has not been that successful with his actual clothing lines and his clothing fashion. In fact, he was in debt because of his clothing lines and in the fashion industry. So I don't think that Gap will be as significantly I don't think the gap will be impacted significantly with their relationship with Kanye West. I think he will bring some marketing aspects, but not significantly increase in gap.
Just quickly, we have about 20 seconds left. We did see that you talked about his company being in debt. He actually also received a loan of between $2 and $5 million, according to Forbes, from the Paycheck Protection Program. Do you see there being any long-term, perhaps, damage to his bottom line, given his presidential run?
No, I don't see that as having any long-term effects on his bottom line. I do think that he has been highly criticized because he took this paycheck protection loan from individuals or other companies who may not have had the funds or the means to keep their people employed. Right. And so he's been criticized because of that. But I don't think it will have any long-term effects as far as his presidential run is concerned.